Hey guys, I'm Tara. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to teach you about the solar plexus chakra, so you'll learn what this chakra is all about and some ways that you could work on it. As we're going through this series, I hope you're gaining a deeper understanding of how your body and your mind connect to your energy. All previous chakra videos that we've done so far, so the sacral chakra and root chakra, will be linked down below, and let's get into the solar plexus. The solar plexus chakra is the third energy center of the chakra system. For some reason, with this energy center, you'll commonly hear it without the word chakra, so it'll be often just called the solar plexus, which I'll probably use through this video. The solar plexus is located at your navel, so the sacral chakra is more lower abdomen, and the solar plexus is more in the upper abdomen. And the solar plexus also is going to encompass a lot of the digestive system. The name of the solar plexus in Sanskrit is manipura chakra. Manipura translates to either lustrous gem or jewel in the city, and this name signifies this energy's association with the sun and this energy center's desire to allow us to shine brightly in the world. The solar plexus is the last part of the lower three chakras, which, if you remember from previous videos, the lower chakras are how we're relating to the physical world and how we interact in our material world. And lower isn't less important. All of the energy centers and chakras are important, and our goal is to create a balanced flow within them all. The solar plexus is associated with the element of fire, and this energy relates to our desire to be seen and to take action. So someone who has a balanced solar plexus will stand confidently in their own personal power. The qualities of fire can help us understand this energy center further. So you could think of the solar plexus as basically your own inner flame that provides you with the energy and motivation to create positive changes and to embrace transformation. The element of fire is very transformative. So in the solar plexus, we're letting go of what's no longer serving us in order to allow for renewal and growth. Someone who has really strong solar plexus energy will be confident, they'll be unaffected by the opinions of others, and they'll have a really strong sense of self-worth. We really do need this solar plexus energy to be able to share our unique gifts with the world. Next, I want to share with you what an unbalanced solar plexus may look like. And I want to remind you that unbalanced doesn't only mean that the energy is too low. So energy in a chakra can either be excessive or it can be deficient. Remember also that this is looking deeper into our energetic connection to the mind and body, so this information is not intended to replace medical treatment. Let's look at first an overactive solar plexus, so too much energy in the solar plexus. Being able to stand in our own personal power is a really amazing, wonderful aspect of this energy center, but too much focus on power can lead to an imbalance here. So an overactive solar plexus can occur when there's excessive focus on power and control. Another presentation of excessive energy in the solar plexus could be excessive anger or aggression, so basically think like too much fiery energy. On the other hand, an underactive solar plexus or low energy in the solar plexus can look like someone who has difficulty asserting oneself or someone who has difficulty standing up for their personal needs. So feelings of powerlessness, low self-esteem, low confidence may indicate low energy here. Other things that kind of relate to low solar plexus energy would be lack of motivation, difficulty completing what you set out to do, and just feeling an overall sense of laziness. Physically, an imbalanced solar plexus may show up as digestive issues because remember, there's a strong connection between this energy center and the digestive system. Imbalance here could also show up as a constant feeling of fatigue. Next, let's look at masculine versus feminine energy. If you remember from the last chakra video, the sacral chakra is more of a feminine energy center and the solar plexus is more masculine. So we all have both masculine and feminine energy, regardless of gender, but I do have a theory why females may find that they struggle with lower energy in the solar plexus. I find that females struggle with their sense of personal power more than males on average. And I do think this is changing as our culture does empower women more than ever before, but some of us may just be more inclined to connect with our feminine energy. Of course, this can happen in any gender, and it doesn't happen to all women. This is just my interpretation from experience in working with female clients and just from my own personal womanly experience. Out of all the chakras, this is the one that I struggle with the most, and it's the one that I work on often for this reason. I have drive to get things done, but I do find that I'll burn out quickly. And I'm someone that's pretty in tune with energy, so I can relatively easily feel the energy surrounding all of my chakras, except for my solar plexus. It takes a lot of focus for me to feel my energy here. Maybe I struggle here because I am more in tune with my feminine energy and I have a more difficult time connecting with my masculine energy. I'm still working on this and exploring this, but I'm just sharing this in case anyone else does feel the same. And the good news is the tips we're about to talk about are ways you can work on finding balance in your solar plexus. So I'll definitely be taking some pointers off my own list. The first tip I have for you to balance the solar plexus is to do twisting type yoga poses. So if you remember the location of the solar plexus, it's in the navel region. So twisting type yoga poses can allow for movement through this area and can help bring balance to this energy center. And I do find that doing these twisting poses can work for either an overactive or an underactive solar plexus. So if the solar plexus is underactive, so the energy is low, I find that the twisting kind of is like igniting that fiery energy of this area. So the twisting is kind of helping wake this energy center up. And then if you do have an overactive solar plexus, so too much energy here, this twisting also is kind of like a churning. So it's basically churning away any excess energy in this chakra. So these poses really do just help bring balance into the solar plexus. There's a lot of different twisting poses in yoga, but some examples that would fall into this category would be like a seated spinal twist, a supine spinal twist, or revolved crescent lunge. And just to note, if you do happen to have osteoporosis or osteopenia, these deep twisting yoga poses are really not recommended, so you may want to use one of the other tips. Tip number 2 is candle gazing. A wonderful way to work with the chakras is to work with whatever element they're associated with. So if you remember, the element of the solar plexus is fire, so we can connect with this through candle gazing. Candle gazing is kind of like a form of meditation. It's pretty much done as it sounds. You basically stare at the flame of a candle. So the goal is basically to keep your focus on the flame. The way I suggest doing this is to gaze at the candle flame for 1 to 2 minutes and then close your eyes like in meditation and continue to work on envisioning the flame in your mind's eye. And you could sit with your eyes closed in meditation as long as you'd like. Please remember fire safety with this one, so make sure your candle isn't somewhere where it can get knocked over, blow it out when you're done. When I do this, I have to kind of lock my dogs out of the room so that they don't knock over my candle. There are some contraindications to this practice, so if you have seizures, psychosis, or certain eye issues, this practice isn't recommended. Tip number 3 is to connect with the sun. So this energy center is called the solar plexus, so it kind of makes sense how it relates to the sun, but the sun is also associated with masculine energy, and the solar plexus is more of that masculine energy. The energy of our solar plexus allows us to shine bright in the world, so what better way to balance this energy center than by connecting with the sun? Unfortunately, you can't stare at the sun like you can the moon, so we do have to come up with some other ways to connect with it. One of my personal favorite ways to connect with the sun's energy is to meditate with your eyes closed, facing the sun, and just feeling the sun shining on you. So while you're meditating, you're just focusing on the sensation of feeling the sun's rays. Of course, remember sun safety. This isn't going to be like a super long meditation. This would be something short. If you don't want to sit out in the sun, another suggestion for connecting with the sun would be to do sun salutations. Sun salutations are an amazing way to balance the solar plexus. Not only are you honoring the sun, but you're also increasing the heat in your body, which can help ignite your own inner fire and basically, again, burn away whatever's no longer serving you. I do have a guided practice here on YouTube where we do a moving meditation consisting of sun salutation, so I'll link that down below. We do it outdoors in that practice, but you could do it inside as well. If you do, again, have osteopenia or osteoporosis, sun salutation practices do have a lot of forward bending, so it's really not recommended with those conditions. Tip number 4 is to chant Ram. So Ram, or Ram, if you can roll your R's, is the seed sound or bija mantra associated with the solar plexus. So if you remember from other videos, each chakra has a specific word or a sound that encompasses the core energy of that particular energy center. So using these bija mantras or seed sounds is a really simple way to bring balance to a chakra. When it comes to the solar plexus, chanting the mantra Ram can aid in bringing this chakra into a state of balance and alignment. So you could either say it out loud, you could say it in your head. I do find speaking it out loud is a little more powerful, especially since this energy center is about bringing our gifts out into the world. I find if you say the mantra out loud, it's a little more effective. And you could repeat the mantra as many times as you need. Tip number 5 is to do some cardio. Not the most fun tip on this list, in my opinion, but it is effective. When you do cardio, you're building that internal heat and igniting your own internal flame again. So you're igniting your own internal flame, you're burning away what's no longer serving you. So cardio can be really good for bringing balance to the solar plexus. Any type of cardio you want to do is fine. Running, fast walking, the Stairmaster, whatever, the choice is yours. Tip number 6 is to wear yellow. So from previous videos, we talked about this. Each chakra is associated with a specific color. So the solar plexus is represented by the color yellow. The chakras pretty much follow the sequence of the rainbow. So each color will increase in frequency as we're moving up from the root chakra. You can establish a connection with your solar plexus by incorporating the color yellow into your surroundings or by wearing yellow. It pretty much just serves as a reminder that you're working to bring balance to this energy center and to align with this frequency. I also find personally that wearing like gold jewelry is also a good reminder and a good way to balance the solar plexus. Tip number 7 is to eat nourishing foods. So the solar plexus encompasses much of the digestive system. This means that what you eat is going to directly impact the energy flow of the solar plexus. You can, of course, get super detailed into nutrition, but for this tip, let's just keep it simple. So eating foods that feel nourishing. Eating foods that make you feel good is a way you can easily work to balance this energy center. It's also important to make sure you're eating enough food. Both under-eating and overeating can disrupt the energy flow here. There actually are specific foods that you can eat to help bring balance to each chakra, but I really wanted to keep this simple here. But if you're interested in that, there is a really good book that I use for reference that I'll link in the description down below. Tip number 8 is to say I choose to instead of I have to. This is a tip that I found in the book Wheels of Life, which is my favorite source on information for the chakras. I thought this was an amazing yet easy way to work on your solar plexus, so I wanted to share this tip here. I've actually read this book in full before, but I went back to it to use it as a source to create this content. And as I reread this tip, I realized I did the exact thing minutes before. I said to my husband, I have to go out and plant today because I need to get these plants in the ground. I thought back on it and thought, have to? Who said I had to do it? I was choosing to garden because it brings me joy. I was choosing to plant today because I wanted those plants to have their best chance at survival. No one was forcing me to go out and do it. And this made me realize that this is something that so many of us do all too often. For example, I have to take the dog to the vet. No, I'm choosing to take my dog to the vet because I love him. I want to keep him healthy. I'm blessed to have the funds to afford veterinary care for my furry family members. We do this with so many things, and changing your mindset to I choose to instead of I have to not only helps improve your mindset, but it also helps you tap into your own personal power. What are you choosing to do? Say you have to go to your brother's house for dinner. Do you choose to go because you love your brother and want to spend time with him and his family, or is it an obligation? There's no right or wrong answer. It's just about analyzing what you actually have to do and what you're choosing to do. This question can help you take back your power by opening you up to choice. It can also help you feel more empowered in everyday tasks when you realize you choose to do them for a specific reason. So that's your overview on the solar plexus and some tips on how you can bring balance here. I'm definitely going to be taking some tips off my own list. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. There will be a solar plexus yoga practice to go along with this that's posted next week. Thank you for watching. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, please hit that subscribe button right below me. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.